Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Childhood Finds, if you've never joined me here before. And if you watched my last video, you can probably guess what spawned me wanting to do this video. So my mother-in-law actually suggested it when we found this piece. It's this little phone here. It's just a little frog novelty phone, landline phone from late 70s, early 80s, I believe, and he's worth quite a bit of money. I will show you in a minute what I have him listed for and what he's been selling for in just the last 3 months. And he has a really great sell-through rate. He's very popular, which I can understand because he's adorable. But in this video, we're going to go over more landlines that can bring you quite a bit of money, more than I think you would expect for a lot of them. And hopefully this knowledge will be able to help you either if you're a reseller or if you're wanting to collect and you just find these really cool. So let's go ahead and get going. So a little bit about how I try to do some of my research videos is I try to show items that have a sales history. And what I mean by that is I don't want to show you one-offs where this item has only sold once over the last decade. Some of these items might be more rare, but there's the same styles that are selling. So I just try to show you items that I think you can find and you can come across and are going to be possibly available to you. I also use Terapeak a lot in my research, and that's because I like to give a full picture of what price value could be. And that's, if you aren't familiar with Terapeak, it's on eBay with your store, and it shows you the solds for the last 2 years instead of 90 days. And I think that can be really beneficial for items that don't come to market as frequently. If there's hundreds of something listed, you want to look at the last 90 days for a trending price. If there's something where only a couple come every 90 days, I think it's valuable to look at the sold history. And that's kind of to prevent you for really underpricing it. And you can also see trends in pricing. So just keep that in mind, especially as you look at my first one. I will tell you why I priced it the way I priced it. So this is a Crusader Frog Phone model FF518 landline flip novelty telephone. And I did test it. Let me show you the video if my computer will allow. That's what he sounds like when he rings. Not what I was expecting. I was really hoping for a rivet, guys. Really hoping for some rivets. But that's what that sounds like. And I really like to utilize videos when I can, because I think it helps me get a premium price because it's showing right there what it does. I also think it helps protect you. So if a buyer gets it and says it wasn't working, you've got that video. So keep that in mind. So this is mine currently listed. I have it listed at $174.95. And I am going to show you the 90-day solds. And let me tell you the Terapeak though. I don't have that up here, but Terapeak shows me on this solds can range from 75 to 250. And the last 90 days for this guy, let's look at the top one to start. We have an 185 that's the same. We have a 129, a 200 best offer accepted, a 125, and then we have a new unbox that went for 117 on auction, which is a great price, but I think it could have gone for more. But you can see that the prices vary. So it may seem like I am pricing up a lot on mine, but let me see if I can also show you what's available. So you can see that there's quite a few that have sold, at least 6 here that have sold in the last 3 months. Oh, I don't think that clicked away exactly what I needed. There we go. You can see mine here listed for 175 and a Kermit. Here's one for 150, 199, and I feel like there is one more listed, but maybe not. Yeah, I'm not seeing the other one. So right now, I might be incorrect because all I'm getting are Kermits, but there are only 3 available. So the sell-through is really good on these guys, and I'm kind of right in the middle of the solds. And also, the other one is in a different country, so someone that is in my same country will be more likely to probably buy mine. But I think it's a great price for it, and the prices can definitely vary. So that's what I have it listed for, and I already have a ton of watchers, and it's been listed for about 2 days. So let's start with the rest of the ones in this video. And so this is an antique pre-war circa 1900 Western Electric candlestick telephone, complete, no reserve. So that just means that they didn't put a reserve on their auction so that if it's not met, it won't sell. That's what they're saying. But it did sell for $373. And the candlestick is this right here, is kind of why they refer to it as that. And these, I believe, have been around since the late 1800s, and they're pretty popular for people to buy. Don't take this as gospel for how much these are worth, though. They do vary. There are ones that sell for 100, and there are ones that sell in the thousands. So it really depends on your maker and also age and condition. So keep that in mind when you see Candlestick Phone, and just make sure to do research on the exact phone you have if you're able to do so. This one's really cool. So I am going to show you later and talk a little bit now that color really matters on a lot of these older phones. Certain colors are going to bring the big bucks. More basic colors are going to bring your bread and butter bucks. So this one is a lime green. It is very groovy, guys. And they are from these ones I believe are in the early 1970s, but I just wanted to show you there's 2 different styles because I'm only going to be able to show you one. There's going to be a wall phone. It has the receiver, I just didn't scroll down. And then also your desk phone. Both are rotary phones. So what that means is this little dial here is how you're dialing instead of the push button. The push button have the numbers that you push. And so that rotary tends to go for more money than push button. But just a general knowledge when you're looking at your stuff. And so these definitely go between 100 and 200. There is one wall phone that went on auction for up to 240, which is pretty good. And then we have all these ones that I'm showing you that went into the hundreds, 150s. So absolutely, these green phones can go over $100. Let me show you one up close. And here is the one I was showing you. It did sell for the $179.99. This is a Stromberg Carlson lime green rotary phone, vintage retro, made in USA. And Stromberg and Carlson, they were around from 1894 to 1980s, I believe. So we know they're vintage if we see them. And a lot of their phones can bring some decent money. And this is really, the color is what's selling this, really. So just a great one to look for. Next we have it's a street style phone. So essentially it's a novelty phone. I'm showing you quite a few novelty phones made to look like a payphone. And the reason I'm showing you the Terapeak here is that there's only been one sold in the last 90 days and it didn't sell very well. And I wanted to show you that it can sell for more. So here's one that has the box and it sold for $112. You can see it just looks like a little cute payphone. But we have even more. Another one without the box that says tested, $120 plus free shipping. And I think there's even $150 up here with the box that sold for the $150. So they definitely range in the mid or low to mid hundreds, and I think some sell for a little bit under. But this one did sell, this last one in the 90 days, sold for $28. So I wanted to talk about this one because I think it helps when you're researching and trying to figure out prices for your items. Is this one sold for $28. It is new, it's in plastic, it hasn't been used, and it also is free shipping. So I like to share this because, well, one, maybe this is what the seller wanted and they're just trying to declutter. That's great for them then. But if they wanted top dollar, I would have looked at Terapeak, because likely what happened is they didn't see one of these that sold in the last 3 months of when they researched eBay. And so they picked a price that they were happy with. So it probably sold very fast, but it definitely could have sold for more. So just keep that in mind. That's why I do Terapeak. And I find it just something I really focus on because I've made these mistakes. If you've watched my cookbook research videos, you've watched me discover this mistake that I have made, and it's been $100+ I missed out on. So just like this one. So I don't share these to be mean or cruel. I share them because I've done the mistakes, and I just want to help you maybe not do what I do. I still do it. I still have done it a few times, even recently. So I do this also for myself, to encourage myself to keep researching and to price well, because I still mess up, but it happens. Next one we're looking at is a duck, and he's cute, guys. I love these novelty phones. That's why I love the frog phone, because it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. I would have 100% had this in my house. But this is a Telemania wooden mallard duck woodbird tabletop landline phone, and works is what they said in the title, which is always great to have. And he's not something super special, but he did sell for the $122.50 you see here. And it does have positive feedback. I looked. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you up close. And there's your push button that I was talking about. And he's not in perfect condition. He has some scuffing. You know, they showed pictures of it, which is great. But that's a great price for that. So look out for these novelty phones. Not all of them are selling for big money, but there are some that do. Here's a Garfield cat phone, 1981 Tyco landline corded phone, and it's working. I love Garfield. If I had a landline, I would totally use him. And honestly, if I find one, I'm going to tell my mother-in-law she's now using Garfield, because look how cute Garfield is. So I'm a Garfield person. I'm a cat person. Again, don't tell my dogs. I've said that in past videos. Don't tell them. But this guy did sell, and it sold for $157.49 plus free shipping. But still a great price. It's a 1980s landline phone, and there is many that sold within this price range. So this is very accurate to what the pricing should be. Yeah, just, he's cute, guys. There was also a white cat one that sold in the 100. So novelty phones are great. Not all of them are going to be huge money, but if you can get them cheap, I'd pick them up, especially if you can test them. Next, we're going to be looking at a type of phone. And what I mean by that is going to be Bakelite. So the phones that are Bakelite do tend to sell pretty well. And so Bakelite kind of gives a date to when the item was made. It started in 1909, so right around that time, and went to about the 1940s is when companies kind of stopped using Bakelite. So that gives you a range of when your phone was done, which means it's definitely an older one. So there's a bunch that have sold. I just wanted to kind of share with you a bunch of different ones, because there's not going to be a lot of the same ones for this, but what you're looking for is Bakelite. And let's go down and just look at a couple. So here is one that is just a jade green rotary phone, just your basic desk phone. And that one sold for $700. And they're not all that high, but a lot of your Bakelite ones are going to bring a good amount of money because of what they are. Here's another one that's the jade green as well. And this one did say as is, and it sold for $300. So they likely wrote into their description what was wrong with it, which is great. They were honest, but it still sold for $300, not in perfect condition. And we even have more that as we go down, but you're seeing 200s up to 800s for these Bakelite phones. So there's a whole bunch of different ones. I know I'm going kind of fast through, but it's just to give you an idea. And let's talk a minute about Bakelite. If you want to test Bakelite, if it's something you're going to start kind of seeking out that kind of item, semi-chrome polish is something to get. I believe I got mine off Amazon or eBay, one or the other. I think it's like $10 a tube. And all you do is take a little bit. There are lots of YouTube videos about it, and you put a little bit onto like a paper towel, rub it on the piece after you've cleaned it, and if it comes out bright, icky yellow, it's Bakelite. I think there's a couple different YouTube channels I watch that have shown those, but you would be able to search those to find. I know Bolo Buddies has one where she is testing and shows how to do it. So keep that in mind if you're going to start kind of sourcing these more antique items, antique plasticky looking items. You may want to look into that semi-chrome polish to help you. There's other ways they've talked about testing it, but I like the polish because other people are saying you have to like run it underwater or like rub it, and there's a whole thing. I'm not skilled enough to do that stuff. But you can see there's a lot of different ones selling for really good prices. All you have to do is type in Bakelite Phone onto Terapeak Research, and you'll find a whole bunch of these and be able to see them up close as well if you want to do more research. But let's look at one that is sold. And I shared this one because it's yellow and because yellow is my favorite color. It's adorable. And it's a vintage Bakelite butterscotch yellow wall phone, 1930s Art Deco. And one thing I thought was interesting is in the description, she was very honest. She said that she doesn't know if it works, and as well as a reliable source told her it's Bakelite. So this is not Bakelite tested. So it likely is, guys, but she just said it in her description. She was honest, so be honest and your items can still likely sell, but I would test it just for peace of mind for myself as well. But this did sell for the $179.50, and it's adorable. Next one is, again, we're looking at color. And this is just a basic phone, and it's a vintage Western Electric 500 light blue desk phone, polished and working. I don't polish mine, I'm lazy. I clean it, but not polish. And this one did sell for the $198. There's darker blue ones that also sell for this price, red ones. I mean, really just go into Terapeak and type in Western Electric telephone and you will find a bunch to kind of keep your eye out for. Some of the more basic ones are going to be in the 20s to 40s, so keep that in mind. You want to get these cheap when you can, but you can start to know the colors maybe to pick up. So let's go to our next one. Next, I'm sharing this one because I kind of wanted to show you that not all the ones you think are going to be super valuable are valuable. So this is a vintage 1976 Walt Disney Mickey Mouse rotary phone. And this one sold for $60 plus shipping, but this is kind of where it tops out in this market for the Mickey Mouse phone. You would think because it's Disney and because it's Mickey Mouse, it's going to bring a super premium price. And a lot of people believe that. I've seen these at yard sales all the time, and people almost always are pricing them up because of what they are. And not all of them are valuable. The push button ones I've sold in the past, and they tend to go in the 30 to 40 range, maybe 45 it'll top out at. And also keep in mind, these guys are big. It's going to be an oversized box to get this safely to a buyer. So not all of your big honkin' novelty Disney phones are going to be worth money. You saw earlier the Kermit the Frog phone does sell pretty well. Let's go and see if we can check that out again. So you can just get another example of a Disney phone. There's also Donald Duck ones. I've seen Goofy ones. And so the prices will vary, but you can see here that one sold on auction, a push button one for $21.50. See if there's any more Kermits. Another one, push button for $40. So it's not as much as you would think, because when you look at them, you're like, that's got to be worth money. It's adorable. People want to display this. So factor in how much shipping is going to be and how much your time is going to be packing it. I still pick them up if they're cheap. I picked one up, a Mickey Mouse for $5. I'm going to sell him because he's cute. I still like him, but you can't pay a bunch. And a lot of places that are selling these do ask more of a premium because of what they are. So, and Rotary will be worth more on these Disney ones that I have found for the most part. But let's go to our last ones we're looking at. These are going to be wall phones, and I have two of these to show you that color is a big deal. And so this is a vintage mid-century modern orange ITT rotary dial telephone. And it's just a basic phone and it's orange. It sold for $145 on auction, actually very recently. And it's just an orange phone. But let me show you that Also, I should mention all these ones I'm showing you up close have been sold in the last 90 days, but I'm showing the Terapeak as extra on some of them. And then let's look at another ITT phone. Here's another vintage retro 1980s brown chocolate ITT phone. Rotary as well, sold for $27. So your color is going to play a big part in this. Definitely, a lot of times the fun, flashy colors are going to be worth more. Not always, but a lot of the times, guys, because those are the fun ones that people want to have in their homes. So this one sold for $27, but if I got this for cheap, I would absolutely pick it up. So hopefully this video has been valuable for you. Let me know your favorite phone down in the description or down in the comments, I apologize. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Please like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you haven't before, and we'll see you on the next one.